Hey, what's up everybody? Today I wanted to make a video about some of the material we've been picking up at the last spot we've been out to recently. I'm just gonna pick out some specimens and cut them. I wanted to show you some of the interesting minerals. Petrified wood, and show you some of these specimens. Alright guys, I apologize for the loud road. I live on a pretty busy road. It's Friday afternoon. Everybody's coming home from work. So there's going to be a bit of background noise. I wanted to show you this little group of 5 specimens so far. That all seem to be possibly fossilized tree fern. That's what I'm thinking. You can see the cell structure in these when you look from the side. There's obvious tubes. So this one's definitely getting cut. I'm not going to cut this side. It has too many interesting features. We're going to cut this side. You can see the cell structure in that even through the coating. So I'm really optimistic for this. I'm thinking this is Osmunda oregonensis. So that one's definitely getting cut. We'll probably do the cut video next time. As we can see here, see the kind of wheat sheaf like splaying habit of these. This one you can see the tubes on the side as well. And then from the top, more of those long tubes running down the core. I don't know that we're going to cut this one. We'll probably leave it natural. There's my cat, Turger. Alright, here's a big one. You can see how the tube structures are in this. Just absolutely gorgeous. These aren't the most aesthetic pieces when you go to pick them up. They seem pretty like maybe busted up pieces of pet wood. But then you start looking closer and see all the tube details in it. This one has some amazing tubes running all through it. We're going to cut this one. What I'm going to do is cut this bottom half off that extends down. I'm going to cut it right here. Expose this big face down here and have 2 halves. One side definitely will have more of the exterior surface features. Hopefully both sides will have the interesting internal features. But look at those tubes. Very cool. Alright, another one very similar to that one. You can see how the whole specimen is comprised of individual tubes. This one has some interesting Petroidal Agate on the side. Absolutely cool. Here we can see clearly defined tubes right here. Individual structures. So I was very excited to find these. And then the last one, we will cut this one. First I wasn't sure if it was one of those. The more I looked at it, the more I'm convinced it is. It has kind of the splaying wheat sheaf-like form on that side. You can see the cell structure in here on this one too. Comprised of the small tubes running down the length of it. And more Petroidal Agate. Neat stuff. I can't wait to get some of this on the saw. See what it looks like. Absolutely cool. So those were the 5 plant fossils that I think may be in the genus Osmunda. I would need somebody more educated than me to tell me if that is correct. Okay, here we have a couple of more specimens I'm going to cut. This is just a classic round. Not too many clues on the surface of what's going to be happening inside. Some interesting features, but nothing to show us what's inside, really. You're gonna have to cut this one to get an idea of what's in there. This one's showing a little more from the surface. See the surface details. Some interesting calcite crystals growing on the side. And then on the top we have some nice agate cores going down into it. Neat surface features, banded agate. Probably cut that one and check it out. And here's one of the bigger rounds I've taken out. Nice size round with some good surface texture. Nice looking features on the outside here. I think this is on the edge of the cutting limit for my saw. So we'll cut it if we can. You can see down in here kind of what's going on inside is this section. Alright, very cool. Now this one was a surprise. I thought this was just a big piece of Jasper wood. But then I got it home and started to clean it up. You can see the surface details all the way around. Quite interesting agate. Then if we get a close-up and look, we can see it's filled with moss. Just an absolutely gorgeous moss agate limb. So the material in this area ranges from Jasper to agate. Some of it's hard, some soft. Apparently we have fossils of other things besides just your standard trees. Neat druzy veins inside of the wood. Very cool druzy veins inside the petrified wood. See, I'm in my greenhouse. There's no direct sunlight, but we can still see shiny crystals in there. Very cool. Alright guys, these are some of the more agatized pieces. I'll show you some of these. Here we have an interesting white agate limb cast. Looks like there's going to be some plume in here. This one's definitely on the cutting list. Just a white agate with, looks like a calcite core right there. Very cool. Some white plume agate from the same area. Now this is seam material, and I don't know if it's coming between seams of petrified wood or if it's just growing in the host rock. Some neat petrified wood, plume agate, sorry, reminiscent of stinking water. You can see the dirty side where it was laying down in the dirt. This side's sticking up for many, many years. Neat material. And this piece is really cool. Sort of a blue agate in wood. Nice cell preservation. You can see the patterns here. Kind of reminds me of Gary Green with the different color scheme. Nice big pieces of petrified wood with interesting features. This is the stuff I like. There's a cat. Hey, Turger. You know how cats are. Alright. This one's pretty cool. It's got nice quartz plates all over the surface. Some interesting orbicular details in the surface here. A nice woody texture on this side. Very cool indeed. Alright, and then last but not least, I had a couple pieces of the Jasper from that area. Again, these are likely associated with wood. Probably giant pieces of wood that have these Jasper sections running through them that prove harder than the softer surrounding wood. Therefore, they break out and last longer on the hillside. Beautiful multicolored Jasper, somewhat orbicular in nature. See those orbs in there? Gonna get this one on the saw and cut it up for you. Check out some slabs off of this. There's another one. This one's a little more plain on most sides. This side has a little bit of interesting features. It's almost got some web-like patterning, moss-like patterning in there, with slight orbicular tendencies. We'll see, this one may be a little plain. Still very neat wood. Alright, I'm going to dig around in the bucket for a couple more minutes, see if I find any more interesting specimens to cut, and we'll get back to you. Alright guys, here we have a couple more specimens. These were some neat green limbs coming down a wash. Pretty agatized on one side here. You can see how agatized that side is. Just amazing. Nice green texture and color. Very cool. We'll probably cut one of these green ones to see what's happening inside of them. It's got some awesome surface details. Just cool to look at. It looks pretty crystally and interesting in there. Can't wait to see what's happening. Very cool. They're really hard. They don't seem to show many fractures or anything. They're not giving away many hints as to what's happening inside. Very cool green limbs. This one's got a lot more orange than green. Really cool features. Alright, and then a couple more here. I had some Jasper, a little more interesting. Again, this is Jasper from wood, from petrified wood. Try to see this color in there. Beautiful reds and oranges. Very mossy. Moss inclusions. This big one. Most of the interesting stuff is on the left side here, the reds and yellows. Really cool stuff. And I had this little moss agate here that I picked up out there and showed in the first video. Just gonna show it wet now. Oh wow, look at the pattern on the side of that. Hopefully that'll show up. Alright, here we go on this one. Gonna get a look in there. moss agate from petrified wood. Alright, next video is going to be cutting up a few of these select specimens. For sure this one. Going to cut a face on this. For sure this big, interesting fossil. We're going to cut this one. For sure. On this face. And maybe a green one. A couple slabs of this blue agate wood. Thanks for watching. Hope you come back and check out the next one.